the world is watching as Russia wages war on Ukraine. But Russian state media is telling a different story.
Исторический опыт говорит, что денацификация может быть лишь принудительной, силовой, и проводится она только извне. Собственно, сейчас это и началось. Россия берет на себя этот труд в очередной раз вытравить из Европы нацизм. К сожалению, без посторонней помощи. Но справимся.
Media like the state-owned Russia 24 TV channel have been following a narrative that President Vladimir Putin laid out on the morning of the invasion.
Мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции. Ее цель – защита людей, которые на протяжении 8 лет подвергаются издевательствам, геноциду со стороны киевского режима. И для этого мы будем стремиться к демилитаризации и денацификации Украины, а также преданию суду тех, кто совершил многочисленные кровавые преступления против мирных жителей, в том числе и граждан Российской Федерации.
The narrative in state media is the one clearly expressed by Putin in his address to the nation. This is clear message. So there is no war which is going on, and it's forbidden to use the word war, as you know. You should speak about special operation, and this special operation is considered to be liberation of Ukrainian people from Nazis, from ultra-nationalists in Kyiv.
A special operation to liberate Ukraine is a cornerstone of the narrative. Another is Russia's claim that its actions are pacifism.
Россия всегда и все эти 8 лет настаивала на переговорах и на мирном решении. Мы будем настаивать на этом до конца.
Pacifism always was a very big part of Soviet and then Russian propaganda, even if it was like a fake pacifism. War is bad and peace is good. So what's happening now is that even those propagandists who are supporting Putin, they still try to use pacifist narratives.
According to Russia, it's the US and NATO that are threatening peace.
Well, they're trying to present the situation as if it's not conflict between Russia and Ukraine. It's conflict between Russia and America.
This is very important for Putin in this propagandist campaign, not only to avoid, very negative information to come from Ukraine, but also to keep the idea, the belief that the West is conspiring against Russia.
World War II references and anti-Western rhetoric are key ingredients fueling what some call the Russian propaganda machine. But there are signs the engine is stuttering.
Usually our propaganda machine is well prepared to all the events because all the directors of our state TV channels and other big state media, they're gathering every week on Thursdays in Kremlin, and they get instructions about how to report about this and that, and no one explained them that there will be war in Ukraine. The first narrative was that right before the war started was that you see Putin said that he is going to return troops back, so it's all fake Western hysteria about the possible war. Russia is not going to wage a war against anyone.
The machine normally works so well, in part because independent reporting has become increasingly scarce in Russia. Watchdog Reporters Without Borders ranked Russia as 150 out of 180 countries for press freedom last year, saying that major TV channels continued to inundate viewers with propaganda and that vague and selective laws were used to imprison journalists and bloggers.
Now it's understandable that it has been done in advance in order to let the Kremlin to control communication almost entirely, and it will increase.
Once Ukraine was invaded, the Kremlin's crackdown on media freedoms only intensified. Two of Russia's most significant remaining independent media outlets, the Echo of Moscow radio station and online TV channel Dozhd, were forced to close. During their last moments on air, Dozhd broadcast a recording of Swan Lake that state TV aired on a loop during the collapse of the Soviet Union.
We can tell that independent reporting from Russia became practically impossible. Only those who are outside Russia, they can do it.
The main center of Russian independent media is abroad, so they will not close all the information by imprisoning these people who are still now sitting in Russia.
Russia is not so much separated from the outside world. There is still internet in the country.
Even though many independent media websites are banned in Russia, they can still be accessed via VPNs, virtual private networks which disguise users' IP addresses so that internet providers or the government cannot see which websites they are visiting. Demand has surged in Russia for VPN apps since war broke out in Ukraine. Many say the internet, and especially social media, have become the backbone of the anti-war protests that have been taking place in Russia despite an intense crackdown from police and lawmakers.
It's actually ironically that in Western countries for all the last years, there was a narrative that there are like old school media that checking information, and there is disinformation that goes through the social networks. In Russia, it's absolutely vice versa. We have disinformation that's going through state media, and there is a window for independent media in social networks. So social networks, of course, play a very important role.
But even though there is a window for reliable information on social media, there is also a huge amount of disinformation circulating on the platforms. Users have to know whom to trust. But they might not even get the chance. Russia has now blocked Facebook and Twitter. Getting independent information on the war is getting harder by the day.